start with that one? You must be very disappointed.
Aye, disappointed in the game. Just kind of stressed that to the boys in there. It's been such a positive kind of start to pre-season, and the way that we've kind of went about things. And when you give teams kind of 3 goals like we did today, you're always kind of facing that opportunity to lose games of football. And the boys know that, and they're disappointed, of course.
It seemed like once we got ourselves 2-1 in front, we'd done so well. We come out that second half with a real tempo about us and get the 2 goals, and it just kind of felt like we sort of stopped a wee bit after that, almost as if like it was, oh, that's it, job done.
No, I wouldn't say it was job done or anything like that. I think we've just got to manage situations better. You know, the boys work hard, some good moves, leads to the penalty and stuff, and you find yourself 2-1 in front. That's where for the next probably 5-10 minutes you're winning the game. You've got to manage the game and kind of circumstances and stuff a little bit better. Can you play the game in their half, make the defenders defend? You don't do that, and then obviously you give a penalty away. Don't know what it was, for a minute or so right after that. So you shoot yourself in the foot, and then you've got to try and fight and galvanise to get back into the game, to go and try and get that, obviously, the winning goal, and then you concede a sloppy goal.
Yeah, I suppose that's going to be the particular sickener. If it had been 2 each, we could have probably lived with that, but to concede that goal in the manner that we did must be very frustrating.
Aye, no, listen, they're all frustrating, and I don't want to be too negative about it. Listen, I'll be no sleeping the night and watching it, and what can we do better and stuff, of course. But at the same time, we know that the individual mistakes are costly, and they have been today. I think within the game itself, I thought we were decent in patches, could still be a wee bit more positive and kind of forward thinking, a little bit safe at times and knocking the ball about kind of in areas that weren't really hurting. Alloa were quite kind of accepting of us having a lot of the ball, but it's what you do with that possession, and I thought we could have maybe been a wee bit more kind of front foot thinking and braver in possession, and create opportunities for probably as much of the control. I don't know what the stats are and stuff, but I think for as much of the ball and control of the game that we had, we probably never tested the goalkeeper enough, and that's obviously a frustrating bit.
I suppose it's worth double checking with Dean going off at half time and Aidan early into the second half. That's just about managing their kind of gradual return to match fitness, yeah? Yeah,
they were always part of the plan. Obviously, Dino, that's his kind of first game at Arbroath, at Montrose, up at Arbroath during the week. So to get him, I think it was kind of 30 or 35 minutes, and then to follow that up and get him 45 and kind of get the cobwebs dusted down, and Big Aidan obviously building on that, manages to get kind of just under 60 minutes, which was good. No reactions, which was always the plan regardless of scoreline and stuff. So pleased on that front, but and as I say, you've got the boys coming back. I think we're still light in certain areas. I think you can see that even throughout the game, just to make those changes and have that kind of real squad depth that when you're maybe 2-2 or you're 2-1, can you bring on those kind of substitutions that are going to have a real kind of impact in the game? But nothing to do with the result today. You've got to give credit to Alloa, and like I say, we're disappointed because it's the last kind of hurdle, and we do so well in the previous games, and you shoot yourself in the foot a bit.
It did very much feel like we'd kind of let an opportunity slip, because as you say, we're top of the group going into the day, won 3 games, and like you say, credit Alloa, they'd done the same, so it was coming down to a shootout, but we do feel like we kind of let that slip, that place in the next round, through our fingers. Definitely,
it was in our hands. We've got the kind of home advantage. We're the team in the higher division, probably expect a bit more for us, and rightly so. And for one kind of reason or another, that's my job to go and look and see how we can improve and whatnot as well. But listen, football's a funny game that we might look back in hindsight in 12 kind of games time, and it could be a real blessing that kickstarts us in the league form, which starts next week. So we've got to make sure that we don't dwell on the kind of negative too much. Yes, we're disappointed, and of course me more than anyone, but we've got to galvanise and use that as fuel, because we know what that feeling's like, and we've got to make sure that we don't have many more of them.
Any idea why the first disallowed goal was chalked off? Have they given a reason or anything like that?
Not good, didn't I ask.
Watched it loads of times and can't figure it out. But
you know my opinion on
yeah, we'll not go there. Looking ahead then for next week, what's your thoughts on Ross County? They get beat today, so they'll be a bit frustrated. But they're kind of early favourites for the league.
Listen, I'd imagine, like say them and St Johnstone and probably Ayr and these kind of, they'll be the bookies' favourites. But the Championship's always kind of unpredictable. I think, in fairness to Ross County, they've had a big turnaround in terms of the recruitment. I think they've brought a lot of boys in, and St Johnstone and Ayr and stuff, they've signed signed well and signed kind of a lot of players. So you're probably on paper putting them in the driving seat as the favourites. But listen, a few poor results from their end, as you say, they got beat today. So listen, one that we're at home, we're looking to obviously go into the league campaign starting on a positive as best we can. We know that it's going to be tough, and as I said, at the moment when we're relying so kind of heavily on young players, which of course is a big kind of thing for myself, the club, and we don't want to get away from that. But at the same time, the boys that are in the squad as well, they just need that little bit of help. I think even having, like say, Alex King playing at a makeshift left back, doing things like that just now, we're making do with what we have just now. With the hope and the view, obviously, like say Lewis Strapp and Brucey and Aaron Reid and that, these guys to return. But as I said, ideally we'd like to get another 2 or 3 if we could to really just help the boys and give them that wee bit of kind of positivity that going into games that we can turn to the bench and bring on some quality as well as kind of a little bit of experience. But like we say, what we've got just now, we've got to make sure we get through kind of the games and training and stuff. We've managed to be fortunate on the injury front that we've not came through with any injury scares or anybody that's going to be out longer term. We've managed to get minutes into like Big Aidan and Dino and stuff today, which is a real positive from our end. And as I say, we now got to dust ourselves down, we come again, we go again Monday, full prep and ready to go and attack the league on Saturday.
You'll have Rhys Armstrong back for availability because it's the league, obviously suspension served for that today. Other than him, I suppose Strappy, Reid, they'll all still be, Brucey, they'll still be out for the next wee while.
Obviously Rico suspended today. He's probably come at the wrong time. He's been flying, he's been doing really well since he's come back to pre-season. Rico, Gav obviously coming back from his illness, so you don't want to kind of risk blowing him out and ends up back in his bed for 48 hours as well. So we've got to manage boys, and listen, it gives me a headache and a healthy headache. I think even wee Strava took a wee bang or something on his quad there that like say you had maybe 1 or 2 extra players that you'd probably bring him off and whatnot. So you're trying to manage as best you can as well at this time of the season as well. You're trying to rotate. As I say, we're not blessed with a 24-25 man squad that we can go and give everybody minutes and stuff. A lot of boys, Craig Ross for example today, has played virtually every game at 90 minutes, right back, centre back, because of the bodies and the numbers that we have, and that's just how it is just now. So getting Aidan back and managing to kind of manipulate that situation a little bit was kind of on me and something that we had to do and we have to do, because going forward you can't expect Craig Ross to go and play 90 minutes, Big Gint's play 90 minutes, and then Aidan Wilson needs to build up his minutes as well, and Dylan McDonald's been a big performer as well on that front. So it is a weird situation because you do have to be mindful of the boys and you don't want to burn them out too early. We've got an exciting new league campaign. The boys are, and everybody I'd imagine, is really positive. We're looking forward to it, and as I say, we want to get off to the best start possible, and to do that you need to make sure that everybody's fit, firing and ready to go.
And as sore as that is today, I suppose that's the thing we can look to. We've got a new league campaign starting here, home game, so very exciting.
Of course it is, and listen, it's probably a wee bit raw just now because we've lost a game of football, and I understand that, and me more than anyone, I'm frustrated, but I've got to look at the bigger picture. There's nothing we can do about it now. We've got a league campaign. Obviously we'd like to go and try and put things right from kind of last year in terms of where we finished. I've got that kind of personal agenda that I want to make sure that we go and do better than we did last year. So the boys are looking forward to it. I think it's one of the ones, as soon as a new league campaign comes, you're itching, basically just wanting competitive football and stuff to start. For me, fortunately and unfortunately, the kind of Premier Sports Cup, it comes at a time probably a little bit sooner than every manager and stuff would like, but it's competitive football and it's the closest thing you get to that kind of league format, which obviously starting next week, I'm sure everybody will be kind of ready to go.
Brilliant, Rhys, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Dean, 30 minutes or so the other night, 45 minutes now, so you're making your way back to full fitness. How do you feel? Yeah,
it's obviously good to be back. Obviously a decent result in Montrose the other night, but obviously a disappointment on the day, but it's good to get back on the park and get some minutes in the legs. Obviously missed, I think, the whole of pre-season, so it's good to get back and get some minutes.
Must be difficult because you've not had the luxury of a couple of pre-season friendlies to go straight back into the thick of competitive action, and obviously today we go in at half-time and we're 1-0 down. You must have been really irritated.
Yeah, obviously it's, as you can probably see, I'm a wee bit rusty, not my full fitness, but it was just good to get minutes. But obviously it's coming in at half-time. I think we started the game quite well on the front foot, some nice passes of play, but we just didn't penetrate through and just get that goal and get the forward passes and forward runs. But it was disappointing to win at 1-0 at half-time. Getting
ourselves 2-1 in front, we kind of come out that second half, played really, really well, levelled it, got ourselves in front, and it just felt like we let it slip through our fingers a wee bit after that. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think the first obviously 5, 10, 15 minutes we started really well and obviously get the 2 goals, but after that we don't know why, but we drop off and we let them come back into the game when they should never really be in the game. I think they defended most of the game in their 18-yard box and we should never let them come into the game at all, especially being at home and how dominant we are at home.
There's probably not a goal scored that the side that's conceded it can't look back and see where they could have done better, but it did feel like the 3 goals we've conceded today were all preventable.
Yeah, they're all individual mistakes. As a team, it's not, Alloa haven't really earned the goals, but that happens and it's a reality check for us to see that we're not just all plain sailing, winning every week. It's a reality check and we need to get back to our best and make sure we win this Saturday.
Having been top of the group going into today, is it especially frustrating to find ourselves out of the cup?
Yeah, it's really frustrating. Obviously the boys have put in such hard work over the 3 games. Obviously I've been in the stand for 2 of them and I've been watching the hard work's been there and what we've been trying to do from training's been there, but it just comes down to like, just today was just one of those days where it was just not good enough and we need to correct it.
Brilliant, Dean, thank you very much for your time.
No worries.